Hello, I'm live for the hour. I'm here on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm going to be here to do some readings for anyone that would like. I know that no one's going to be on just yet, and some of you see this on Reels on Facebook and so on. So I wanted to say something. It's February the 17th today. It is the Lunar New Year. Now the the New Age community, if we dare call ourselves that, the spiritual community, we get very animated about the new things that are in kind of vogue for our awareness, right? And the fire horse, the year of the horse that we're in now, the 60-year cycle, that's kind of exciting and in our faces in a good way now. But we get very overexcited about these things, don't we? The last few months of last year, the 31 Atlas was exciting for everyone, and haven't heard anyone talk about that for a little while. And I'm saying this because yes, indeed, we have just started the Lunar New Year, but you know what's happening in about a week's time is we have Mercury retrograde. And so, there's those that experience where you start a new project, where you start a new something, and then it's almost like the brakes have gone on. You're like, what's going on? And it is because we're going to go into a Mercury retrograde, which is a very necessary time of slowing down and reflection, and especially in a year like the one we're having, the year like we're about to have as well. There is so much playing on the geopolitical stage, on the local stage, so much getting moved out from within us that actually having a period of slowing down is like the best thing that could possibly happen, I would say. So if you're going into this Lunar New Year of yes, let's get it and so on, and then feel like things aren't going like that in a week or two, it's because we've got Mercury retrograde, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. All right, so I assume that everyone knows the drill by now. I will give people a minute to get on here. I read with the Robin Wood deck. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome to put in a comment here, a question, and I will read for you. Not going to talk any longer than I need to talk. I'll be here for an hour. I have to get on tax and accounting calls after that. It is that time of the year, and but I'm here for an hour. Any questions you have? The purpose of this is to give some alleviation to the weight of a question that is burdensome to you, give you some perspective on that. I don't believe it is possible to tell you something that is not true, that is to tell you something that is not your truth, because after all, the way this should be done, I and you are connected to the same thing, and that's what I'm tuning into, that's what I'm reading from, and that's where I'll speak to you from, okay? So with that said, I see Miss Emily we have here. A longer question here. Can you do a general read and look into the compatibility with Alex and I? We're taking it really slow. He's actually told me he wants to go slow. I feel relaxed. I don't want to feel like I am rushing into love or that old feeling of how I viewed falling in love. Yes, absolutely I will. Let's get some music on. All right. So, Emily, the relationship looks good, okay? The relationship looks good. I just need to say this, that with the two of you, your apprehension, right? Your apprehension is quite similar, right? And you need polarity in a relationship, but you need to have You need to be different in the right way and similar in the right way. And oftentimes in a relationship we sometimes we can be similar in the wrong way and different in the wrong way. Not the case here. You are similar in the right way and slightly similar in the not so right way as well, because the tendency with you both is to hold back. Okay. And the more you, because you're the only one I'm talking to here, the more you can see this as a reflection of you. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to say that again. The more that you can see this as a reflection of you, the smoother it's going to move. It's going to move, but the smoother it's going to move. Because there's going slow, and that's a good, sure, it's a good thing. And if anyone's listening to this conversation, why is it a good thing to go slow? It's not going slow for the sake of going slow isn't the thing. What taking one's time in a relationship does is it builds the connections in the different energy centers. Okay. What so many people tend to do is to rush into a relationship and have sexual intercourse and so on, and that's super fun and maybe natural in some ways, but it doesn't build the bridges between the two of you, because ultimately when you go into a relationship you will end up in positions to figure things out together. That's what a relationship is, figuring things out together. And you need the connections in the different energy centers between one another so that you can do that with ease and flow and grace, right? And of course, sexual intercourse comes with all of that. So it's not about going slow for the sake of going slow. It's about taking time and what that enables to happen. So, Emily, think of him as you. Literally, think of him as you. And so you wouldn't want to be hurried along. But if someone was to invite curiosity, how are you feeling? I haven't got the right question, but it's that doesn't make one feel sped up. Okay. So anyway, all suffice to say that the relationship looks good. The taking things slow, I agree, but there's a bit of a tilt towards holding back. Okay. And there's nothing to rush. I wish I could talk to you about this, but I'm sure we can just chat. But all is well. All is well. Some of these questions, you'll hear me say this, guys, that I'm answering questions as best I can. But I've seen someone ask me a question just down here. In fact, yes, the next question I've got, Kristen, you've asked me, what am I supposed to do as my career? That is, I'm going to respond. I'm going to do my best for you. Okay. That is, the goalposts are very wide and it can do with a back and forth if you're going to ask that kind of question. Okay. I'm not saying you need a longer reading, but you're asking a question like that. It requires some input from me too. Okay, so Kristen, you do well with responsibility. I'm seeing this here. You do well with responsibility. You're a good planner and you see things through. And I'm seeing here, should you wish to do, there's a couple of paths that are good and open for you. One is in financial strategy, planning and management. That's just, I'm looking at it right here. And the other, interestingly enough, is in more of a counseling. And I'm using broad terms here. More of a counseling. No, I don't know. I'm not going to say psychotherapy. I'm not saying that. More of a counseling capacity. What I'm seeing is your ability to hold space and then steer. Okay, that's what both of those are completely different careers, but that's what they have in common. If I was going to pick one for you here, it would actually be in finances, because I think you like the more tangible realm more than the intangible. And with something like counseling, it's the intangible realm. The vagueness of emotions you're steering through and unraveling and untangling and weaving together and so on. But that's what I get for you, Kristen. Then Peggy. Peggy, it's nice to see you, as it were. I was thinking of you earlier on. Is my trip to France in April going to go smoothly? Peggy, I'm seeing some interruption about that trip. Just give me a second here. I obviously get a second opinion. You know the realm I'm working with here. Of course you do. You do it better than I do, honestly, Peggy. I'm not comfortable with this about this trip you're taking, as I'm seeing here. Whether that's more a local thing or over in France, I'm not sure what it is. Of course, what April is, that's over 2 months away. But that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. So please, would you do your own diligence within and without, with regard to traveling in April? It makes me think. I want to take the kids to England in. I don't know when it would be, but travel is a question at the moment. Dina, how your work looks like in 2026. Your current company is going through a rough patch. Would you need to find a new job? So, Dina, I would love to tell you a happier news than this, but I don't. I think I think your company is going through a challenging time. In terms of a new job for you, yes, I do feel you'll. Let me explain this. I feel you're going to get offered something else, or transferred, or something. I'm not sure if your company's getting bought or what it is. I don't see you in the same job at the end of this year. I do think there's going to be an opportunity perhaps to present it to you. Okay. Do your best not to get too caught up in with all of that, because you can look at these things in a very matter of fact way, or you can get very emotionally stirred by it. And I can too. but it doesn't change the set of events. And if you can look at the set of events as a set of events, it's easier to navigate them. It's easier to maneuver through them. Okay. All right. Right. Sorry, just took me a minute with words. I hope the planes are not too loud, by the way. Marianne, feeling pulled in a different direction. Do you see anything that would clarify? You're feeling pulled in a different direction. Do I see anything that would clarify that? I don't totally understand your question. I'm feeling pulled in a different direction. Do you see anything that would clarify that? Okay, well, let's. I would agree with you. I would agree with you. You're saying go in a different direction. I'm seeing it more as add some strings to your bow, or avenues of opportunity. That's it. So I don't see necessarily stop doing what you're doing. I don't see that. I see adding to it, and it grows and it builds. All right. And, the tendency is when there's change coming up to say, oh, it's a problem, but we forget that every problem is married to a solution, every challenge married to an opportunity. They come together, they go together. We're in a world of duality. You get both. And so if there's change ahead, yes, perhaps energy for what one is doing is subsiding a little bit, but it's growing elsewhere. It's getting redistributed. Okay. All right. So I would say adding to Marianne rather than stopping and starting. Okay. Okay. Where are Sherry? I feel excitement for the Firehorse year and big changes, especially with my career. What do I see? My hesitation here, it's not that I don't see good things, Sherry. I do. I really do. I also just see the process. Okay. And you get a card. No, I'm not going to show you the card. We have to remember that with the greatest movements forwards, transformation, healing, you might say that word. Sometimes what we've got to do is remove what is in the way. And it's often the case, particularly with a year like this, it's going to just drop off. And I'm sure you're noticing that already. Even just a few weeks into the year, things falling away, moving, leaving, whatever it is. So, Sherry, I'm seeing more of that for you. Absolute confirmation to the big changes. And I won't be saying that to everyone on here. It's not always the case. Not always big changes. Not always big, but it is for you. And the other side of that, because I want to go to the positive, I want to go to the lighter here. The other side of this, Sherry, is you being in your power to a newer degree than you ever have. I'll say that again. You being in your power to a newer degree than you ever have. And that doesn't mean just being powerful and big. It means adept. It means responsible with your energy, creative with it another way, pulling it back, raising it up. Do you understand? It's adeptness. To be adept with the expression of your energy, you have to be unafraid of how you use it. And that means you have to have let go of what has stopped you. What has stopped you from being seen, expressing, using your energy, or expressing a boundary, right? So it's good. I hope you see that. It's good. Right. Right. So let's keep going. So we got Ruth. Ruth is next. A friend of yours, Sally. Sorry, I just need to check something. I've got this. There's an icon showing up next to your everyone's, well, not everyone's name, but some people's name, and I'm not sure what it means. I don't know what that means. All right. Ruth. Okay, Ruth. Here we are. Ruth. You've asked, a friend of yours, Sally, took in a stray cat. Sally has 11 cats. Oh, gosh. 11 cats. 11 cats. And would like to find homes for most of them. How can this happen? Okay. Just need to drink. Okay, Ruth, I don't see her finding homes for all 11 immediately, okay? For some of them, like 5 or 6 of them, I think it'll happen quite simply. Like there are homes for them, real quick, and I can talk to you about this tomorrow. I was living in Greece like 18 years ago for just a few months, but living there with some people, and we this was like the last week we were going to be there, and I came across one of the dumpster. This is after a storm, and I could hear a sound coming from it, and I looked, and there was like 6 puppies in there, and I'm not going to just leave them in there. Took them in, and we just a few of us just looked at what to do, and actually ended up being able to give them to the vet, and find homes. My point is, you presented with something, and sometimes you just to be the deliverer to bring them somewhere else, right? So I feel like 5 or 6. It's more. It could be as simple as a word of mouth. Hey, do you know who? ... Would you like ... I don't think it needs to be any more complicated than that. But for all of them, I don't think they're all going to find homes, from what I'm seeing here. Yes, Presh, hello there. Let me pull a card for you here. Right. The pressure, all the cards I pulled for you here is indicative of a forwards motion. Okay, and I feel that if I could give you an image, it's like you've got your spirit guides around you, okay? And I don't maybe use these words very often. You got spirit guides around you, and they're like, you've got what you need, Presh. You have what you need. Go, go, and but in you, you're like, no, no, no. I need, as a friend of mine says, I need a signier sign. I need the signs to be a bit signier. And you don't. Um, so let me say this to you, Presh. Let me say this. You are safe. You're safe to act. You're safe to move. You're safe to do. Let yourself see that, right? Let yourself see that. And you're only going to see that by doing something. I can add some feathers to it, you know, and say when there's when there's when there's certain things I have to do, I make sure I've got a few guardrails in. I look at the risk that I'd be taking, and I try and contain it. You know, I that's I'm working with the human brain as well. But you are safe. Go do right. There isn't the reason to hold back now, right? Alicia. Should you keep practicing in the current office you're in? I'm not sure if it is the office that is the issue, or if you should just keep seeing home patients at this time. Okay, thank you for the clear question, Alicia. That was the chair. That was the chair. See, see. Um, I'd actually encourage you to continue to use the office, Alicia. Yeah. Just seeing people at home, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. You do great work and there's everything you need. I'm working at home at the moment, right? But seeing people in the office, it gives you just become a bit more. You adopt you adopt the nature of the professional you are a bit more. You know, every building has an imprint, and when we're in a building, we take on characteristics of it. You know, I'm working at home right now. When I go and work in an office or a professional environment, it's just different. I don't have the pull of home, and instead um, I have the energetic conditioning into the environment I'm in, and so doing work at home is a little more challenging, and trying to do domestic things from another place also is a bit more challenging because the environment doesn't support it. So um, you just become more of your you become more dynamic when you're in the office. That's what I would say, and that's why I'm encouraging you. It's not a definite hard have to do this. Okay. Tracy. Tracy and Natasha after that. Tracy, you're asking if you should change jobs. Well, there is a choice that there is it's a choice, right? It's a choice. It's not a have to. But let me just go a little further, Tracy. See if I can steer you here. Yeah. See, I'm not saying there isn't opportunity where you are, but I'm also seeing what it's doing to you. It's then I would say look for another job, Tracy. I would say look for another job. Yes, yes. Natasha, what is coming up for you in the next couple of weeks? Gosh, you know again, certainly a difference in energy of the 2 weeks. Let me go to let me talk about next week first of all. So I'm just going Tuesday to Tuesday to Tuesday. All right. So it's the 17th today, so to the 22nd, and then so the 22nd, 23rd to the end of the month. That's what I'm looking at right now. Quite a lot more, quite a dynamic time. Wow. I haven't got the bumper sticker statement, but it's just a very transformative coming alive time. I'm not gonna go on and on about this fire horse thing. I've said my piece and so on. But there is change around it. There just is change around it, and sometimes not the sort of change you can force or predict. And so, because I'm seeing the week after next, Natasha, I'm seeing things coming and things leaving as well. It's sort of like you're like, oh, I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that. Finally, it's happened, and finally, it's here. And some other people, I think, or a person, maybe you're seeing them for who they are, and there's some departures happening. Anyway, that's week after next. This next week, right now. You talk about this, the concept of surrogacy and being in a more energetic sense. I'm seeing that starting to happen. What I think it's gonna look like a few different things, but one of them is you getting guidance for someone else and sharing it with them and getting comfortable with that, right? I may have to start doing this at a different time of day because I think this is when they all leave on Tuesdays. Come on, because it's necessary to fly supersonic above coastal Virginia. Obviously, it is. Anyway, so the notion of receiving something, holding it, and then passing it on to someone else. Guidance, gifts, ideas, fun, levity, right? Um, two parts to it, Natasha. Three parts, I guess. There's one is the receiving. One is the holding and the gestation. Maybe it's not the right time to tell someone something, you know. But there's this feeling of levity and purpose, levity, fun, and purpose about this next week, and then a shift in energy to much more, in much more of a dynamic sense next week. Yeah. Oh, sorry, that took me a while. Took me a while to find my words. Barbara. Should you take? Oops, I've just seen. Sorry, I've just seen. I have questions here from Mary and Robin. I'm sorry. I literally just seen them come. Let me answer. Let me answer this question for Barbara, and then I'll get to Robin and Mary. Sorry, I just literally saw it. It wasn't it. I'm live on YouTube, as well as Facebook, and just literally just saw it. In a few weeks' time, I'm going to use the restreaming software or StreamYard, where I can just be live on one platform, and it goes to Facebook and YouTube, so I see it all in one place and I don't miss anything. And right, so Barbara, should you take a day job or wait for an office job? All right. Take the job at the restaurant, Barbara. I just see it. I see the. It's not that there isn't an office job. I just see it taking a while, and I don't think you would like it either. What I'm seeing here. Yeah. Okay. So Robin. Oh, yeah, you didn't ask a question. I'm so sorry. You didn't ask a question. You're just being very kind. Mary, did the cards have anything for you for the next few weeks? Yeah. So Mary, this is what I'm going to say to you. What's focus? My hesitation is these things sometimes sound so overused and trite and so on, but fine, they're good. It's good advice when it's good advice. Focus on the outcome, destination. And think past the finish line. And I'm saying that because the sort of things I would really want for you, okay, really want for you, they're there and coming, but there's a bit to wade through first. And so when you've got a little bit of overwhelm, your hands a bit full, your arms a bit full, it's kind of how I feel at the moment. Got to remember that there's something that happens after this, and we're not going to be feeling the same all the time, and something we're going through is not going to keep being like this, and this too shall pass. And after it passes, you Mary, are into a new cycle, a new phase. You're into a new place of power, and it's not going to go backwards, right? The mind says it will. You're not going to go backwards. You've moved through what you moved through, and so you asked a question about these next few weeks, and there's a, I'm not saying challenge. I'm going to say frustration. Um, for myself, going through a little bit of that, I have to remember that the things I'm working on will, they'll have a, they'll, when they happen, they'll play out for a long, long time, and so for me right now, am working towards the spring equinox. I'm not so invested in it's a lunar new year, because it's an entire year, right? So just to keep things manageable for myself, I'm working up to and then through the spring equinox. That's what I can manage, and I would suggest that to any of you. All right. Okay, that I think is everyone. So take a breath with me if you're still here. Take a breath. Take a nice breath with me. Turn that off. Let's all just take a breath. We take a breath and pause. Taking a breath for those who in this moment do not have the presence of mind to do the same. We take a breath and we call to you all that you need, all that you want, all that you desire. We call to you the support as you take each step. Spirit takes a big step with you. We say a prayer of love, a prayer of blessing for the world at this time. We have to remember we are humanity, we are beings. We have come here to deliver the transformation together. There is none worse, there is none better. Humanity truly is one family. And we pray that we can find that reality in ourselves and we can see it outside of us. Okay. Have a lovely day, everyone. A great rest of the week. In the next couple of months, I will be upgrading my membership, my platform, and doing some other pretty exciting stuff. But for the time being, I'm going to keep doing this. It's I'm grateful for all of you who show up for me, and I hope this supports you. So lots of love, and I will see you again soon.